G'day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. So in this video we are going to do a unit review on the Dokkan Butoden Goku, otherwise known as the 8-bit Goku, the 16-bit Goku, the 64-bit Goku, the whatever Goku that you want to call him, old school Goku, NES Goku, pretty much whatever. His leader skill doesn't matter too much, but his super attack effect is stacking attack and defense for 4 turns. Then he gets attack of 88% at the start of turn, defense of 88% when he super attacks, and then he has an additional 88% attack bonus when he is fighting extreme enemies. He also has a pretty decent link set. All in the Family is a great link. He's got Prepared for Battle, Saiyan Lineage, and he has Shattering the Limit, which is pretty good. So he links pretty decently with other Gokus, Kaioken Gokus, Goku family units that have All in the Family, and of course he links pretty decently with most Saiyans just because he's got Prepared for Battle and Saiyan Lineage. He's also got Kamehameha, which obviously suits him linking with another Goku or Goku's family unit at least. So overall his link set, especially for a free to play unit, is pretty good. It's actually quite rock solid, especially in terms of key generation, so you shouldn't have too many problems with key with this unit. And overall his kit seems pretty good. The stats are a little bit low, because obviously that is what happens with free to play units, but being on the Goku's family category, the low class warriors category, and the pure Saiyans category gives them some decent options for teams. Full power, we can maybe link him with a Kaioken Goku, so he should be helpful for quite a few stages, whether they be SBR, or maybe even as a floater on like Pure Saiyans team for an LGE or something like that. We'll just have to see, but yeah, there's definitely some decent options for this card. This first team we'll run him in is a Goku's family one, so we're just going to run him in a Goku's family. We're going to pair him up with Kaioken Goku, just give him some support basically. One of his more important links is going to be the All in the Family link, because that's going to give him quite a big chunk of defense, and we're generally going to want to put Goku in the second slot. The reason you're going to want to put Goku in the second slot is because Goku gets his defense on super, so you know, if you stick him in the first slot and someone attacks him before he supers, he's going to take quite a bit of damage, but when he supers, his defense should be pretty good. Basically you can almost double whatever his standing defense is, because he's going to gain that defense on his super, or 88%. So yeah, it looks pretty good so far. Here we're going to have All in the Family linked up, which is perfectly fine. That's our big defensive link. And then we do have him linked up with the Kaioken Goku. They obviously don't have Kamehameha linked up just yet, but we'll move him to second slot, just so you can get the majority of his links. So Kaioken Goku is a pretty good linking partner for him. We can see that defense is looking pretty nice, that link set's looking pretty nice. So yeah, at this point he's looking pretty good. 58k defense is obviously not a lot, but you can, you know, 1.88 times that, so we're looking at roughly maybe 105k defense, which is pretty good because he's also going to raise it on super attack, so he's probably looking at around 120k defense after supering, which is pretty reliable. It's a pretty solid attack stat number. Obviously this Goku is not the best frontline tank, so we do want to keep that in mind, but otherwise, you know, this Goku and him are a pretty good link pairing, and that's a solid attack stat as well. Yeah, pretty good attack stat. Obviously link levels will help that a bit. He's got quite a bit of attack to gain from his link levels, you know, about 20% as well. So we can definitely up that attack with some link level training, some gear. I haven't put any really solid gear on this guy. So yeah, definitely someone who can hit some pretty good numbers, I would say, at least. But that was a really good rotation for him. Obviously he had the support, had you know, a decent attack stat and everything, had a good linking partner. So yeah, overall really solid turn by him. Really impressed with that kind of numbers and performance. Extreme enemies are obviously very common in the game, so it's not too unrealistic to get all those conditions there. I mean, That's basically just running him with a good linking partner and a good support. So yeah, actually honestly really good. So there we go, 67k defense. So you can see, okay, there's no support, but obviously the way he stacks his defense, 4 turns really helps him there. As you can see, it does increase his defense. The attack stat might be a tiny bit lower because it's not going to stack as heavily as the defense does. But his defense will be pretty good. That 67k will turn into about 120, and then he'll stack one more time on this turn. So you'll definitely be sitting with a really solid defense of about 150k, which is really good considering there's some growth in his links for link leveling. You know, All in the Family can gain a whole nother 5%. He's probably got another 10% from Shadowing the Limits and Prepared for Battle. 1.77 in terms of damage. If we'd had support on rotation, I wouldn't be surprised if he got over 2 million. So yeah, at this point, he's looking really good, really solid. The numbers are looking good against extreme enemies for sure. Like I said, his link set's pretty solid. Just All in the Family is probably the most difficult link you can get activated. But luckily there's enough Pure Saiyans and Goku family units that have that link kind of, you know, tied down. So yeah, he should be more than viable for a lot of stages. I'm really happy with this card. I haven't used him too much since EZAing him and 100%ing him and everything. I wanted to try and use him in some runs, maybe test him out in the Pure Saiyans. Yeah, SBR, he could definitely fall into the Pure Saiyans SBR. In my Pure Saiyans SBR guide video, we went for a low class warriors build, and Goku does fit onto that category. So at this current point in time, we are looking at a really solid option for that team. As a free to play player, I definitely think they are more than viable for that stage, both him and the Vegeta. So yeah, definitely one to keep your eyes on. I think they'll perform really well in that stage. But yeah, so far so good. Decent numbers. Here we've got a little bit more support on the rotation again. So yeah, again we're looking at some decent defensive stats there. Obviously Goku hasn't supered yet, so he would take a bit of damage if he got supered here, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. And then we'll just see you know, what kind of attacks that he can get. I don't think we'll take too much damage here. So 1.9, so yeah, you can see with a little bit of link leveling, and then maybe 1 or 2 more links activated in that second slot, he definitely will hit 2 million. So yeah, overall, pretty impressive so far. I really actually liked his performance in this video. So yeah, we'll next try him out on a Pure Saiyans team, but what we'll do is we'll probably face a super unit. That way we can just kind of see the difference in his attack stats, just so you guys have an idea on how much that affects his attack damage numbers. His defense won't be affected at any point, which is one of the better things about both these units. The Goku and the Vegeta, they maintain a solid defensive stat at all times, due to the fact that their conditions for defense are not dependent on super or extreme types. So that is very good, obviously. What we'll do is we'll just shift this Gohan and Goku off rotation into something else, and then we'll just try and line them up. They're a very good linking partner for Goku as well. As they similarly were for the Kaioken Goku that we had a 100% look at, they will similarly be a decent option for this Goku as well. You'll also see Vegeta rock some pretty good attack stats here. We'll do a separate video on him, but obviously his number one situation is to be fighting a super class opponent as well. So here's a good way to look at Goku. He's not got any real good linking partners, but he does have a bit of support here, 59k. So after super he will be sitting again around that 105k mark, which is really good. You know, it's a good mark to be at. Obviously taking an attack beforehand would be a problem, but you know, that's a good mark. He's not got a great linking partner. He does have the support of Broly and Paragus, but yeah, overall decent attack stat, decent performance. So yeah, he's looking pretty good. I think he's a great free-to-play option. I think he's stellar. I think he's really solid. You could elevate his attack stat. You could get him to level 10 links. You could give him attacking equipment. You could get him, double stacking in each turn. And you could follow that up with a B-Pan active skill, for sure. But, it's not too necessary. His attack numbers for me, at least when fighting an extreme class enemy, the fact that, if you just gave him a bit of equipment and a bit of link leveling, the fact that he can hit 2 middle quite consistently against a extreme type enemy, I think is good enough. That kind of option is really great to have on a team. So yeah, and he'll probably be a decent linking partner for this Tech Goku as well. So overall, really solid partners so far. So right now we've got Goku sitting with pretty much all his links. He's got double support as well, sitting in a very high defensive stat because of that double support now. So if we're fighting an extreme class enemy, this probably would be Goku's best attack stat. But we probably won't see that. We'll probably see a similar one to when he was attacking extreme class enemies. But yeah, you could definitely get Goku higher attack stats. So you could probably push him above 3 million with level 10 links, equipment, extreme enemy, double supports like this, active skills. There's plenty that you could do to kind of get him to that point. The nice thing is obviously B-Pan does link okay with them. All in the Family and Shattering the Limit are good links that they share and say in Lineage, I believe. So B-Pan is a completely viable pairing partner for him. Obviously that's great. She can use her active skill. He can get the defensive buffs, and she can almost frontline tank for him, at least in most events where her guard or her damage reduction activates. So yeah, definitely solid options. I wouldn't say that they are the best options, but they're really good, and they're producing some really solid numbers. So yeah, overall, really quite happy with Goku and his performance in all these stages. We'll see him now kind of linked up with this Tech Goku. They're decent partners. I think they're only missing All in the Family. As we can see, Goku's defense is sitting pretty high now. So yeah, quite happy with that. Obviously the support does kind of help on rotation. And it seems like they have All in the Family. So yeah, you can see that Goku's got quite a few decent pairing partners. Tech Goku's also going to get an EZA at some point. So overall, a really solid pairing partner for him. And together, them, or at least he and the support, can be a super solid rotation for most people, for most lineups. So yeah, as a free-to-play option to fill out the categories that these are on, I think he's great, especially for low-class warriors. I think it's a great option to have. For the full power category, we were lacking a lot of free-to-play options, so this actually will help teams like my free-to-play full power team. This Goku will actually be a really solid option. He can replace the strength Goku in that team lineup if you need. So overall, he definitely will be a solid option to have, and he will make content easier, especially for free-to-play players. You could even probably link him with that strength Kaioken free-to-play Goku and see how he does in terms of just performance in general. But yeah, so far so good. I'm actually quite happy with the numbers. I don't think there's too much more we need to see. We could run an attack, like we could run with the active skill and this and that, and really try to push his damage as much as possible. But I think from what you've seen here, that 2 million or so that he can hit against extreme enemies on the regular with support, adding in link leveling, adding in gear, adding in everything, you're probably going to see that average decently above 2 million. And I think for a free-to-play unit that's an EZA and everything, I think that's great. I think that's really awesome. I think that's solid stats. So yeah, definitely a good performance overall. And here we'll see Goku link up finally with Vegeta. Obviously they're not the perfect linking partners, but they do share the most important links, barring All in the Family for Goku. and his defense is really sitting at a solid number next to Vegeta. So they make a decent pair themselves, which is all perfectly fine. Vegeta with 1.87 million, which is pretty good. Goku with a decent return as well. So yeah, really solid. Obviously a little bit less because we don't have the extreme bonus, and by a little I mean quite a bit, but you know, that's okay. Like I say, that's not the end of the world that happens. We're not too concerned about all of that. So yeah, we'll finish it up with this blue Vegeta, and then what we'll do is we'll just go and take a look at some of his better linking partners, what his important links are, and just kind of go our little last look over the unit before we end the video and send things off here. Let's just see what kind of attack stat we can get Vegeta to get. Obviously, unfortunately, there's no support, but we should be looking at a decent attack stat. Yeah, 4 million. Really solid. So, yeah. This Vegeta, for me, has aged pretty well. Especially with Link leveling update, and if you build the team to link with him. He looks really impressive, that Vegeta, overall. So, yeah. Really quite happy with how this team performed though, and especially how the Goku performed on the team. I think he was definitely a solid option and a solid unit in the main rotation. So yeah, thrilled currently with how he's been doing. And yeah, really quite happy with everything. Obviously performed better against the extreme enemy. But we'll just take one final look at the Goku's links and just, see who his good pairing partners are, who we can kind of get away with pairing him with, and just in general what we're looking for. So based on that whole thing, I think the most important link for this Goku, obviously Prepared for Battle is a great link, but I think the most important link for Goku is going to be his All in the Family. The defensive boost plus the way his super works will really help him in maintaining a very competitive defensive stat. That will really assist him in not only getting high defense after he supers, but will also just help him maybe in the awkward situations whereby you need to put him in the first slot for him to not take as much damage, with that All in the Family link, that extra defense from that, plus leveling it, plus gear, he could end up at a decent stat before supering. The next thing we obviously want to take a look at is obviously this Goku is a great pairing partner with this Goku as usual until he transforms, but we do need to keep that in mind, that he loses a lot of links when he transforms, especially All in the Family, which is one of the more important links. And then there's some weird partners here like this Goku, this Sa Goku, this Fa Sa, whatever you want to call it, Goku. So you do have some kind of out there linking partners, but I wouldn't say that these are his prime linking partners or anything like that. They're definitely options if you lacking in units or anything like that. But yeah, they're not going to be your number one linking partners or anything that I would say. Then obviously the one super good unit that he's able to pair with is the other free-to-play card, the Tech Goku and Gohan. We obviously saw him paired up with them in the showcase. Super reliable card. And if we look at the Shattering the Limit link, obviously there are a couple units he has, like Pan, like I said before, that are decent units for him to link with that link. A lot of them are on Goku's family, so yeah, definitely an option for him to look into at this point in time. And then obviously there's some links, some link combinations that are not prime for Goku, this being one of them. Like, yes, you could activate all those links, but the chances are that the unit's going to die before you do get all your links activated. So yeah. And then, beyond that, we can look into the pure Saiyans. We'd just be looking mainly for Saiyan lineage or for Prepared for Battle, because those are going to be the main links that link us with the pure Saiyans team. We'd have to drop All in the Family, our big defensive link, but it is more than acceptable for you to do that, because it will allow you to link them up well in a different team. Although it's a very good link, it's not obviously the most important link. The only link that we do seem to struggle to get is Infighter. That is just a link that is just not the easiest to get, especially in the categories where Goku's most powerful. Pure Saiyans and Goku's family. Infighters on like a couple of handfuls of cards. You know, the Strength Gohan Hybrid Saiyans lead has Infighters, but it's not a common enough link for us to warrant it, even though it's a great attacking boost for Goku. Raditz is a great linking partner for him, and so is Vegeta. These are kind of cards you're going to need because you need a frontline tank, because obviously again, we really want to run Goku in the second slot. I cannot stress how important it is that if you want the full benefit of Goku from a defensive output, you really want to run him in the second slot. But yeah guys, that's going to be it from me. I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. But until the next video, I'll see you guys, stay safe, and bye!